I'm
You don't tell me what we're jumping on, David.
kamikazeing. I am meth-fueled
Self-deleting.
Nazism, Ryan. That's not true. None of that's
9/11
true.
fake
Ryan,
trade
here's the deal.
buildings with explosives planted in the basement to blow
We're on
buildings.
Rumble, so we're far
Blow 'em
right.
up.
None of this stuff is true.
Blow
None of
'em
this
up.
stuff is true. Don't do it.
It's
Ryan,
all a game,
today,
folks. The Illuminati trading card,
today,
David, was never correct. Not one of the cards was
you,
real.
Ryan, we have several things to talk about
Didn't
today.
know about the card game, did you, David? That's
Several.
weird. Didn't know about the card game, did you?
Which card game? I think I need to put. I've. I
The
didn't like it.
The
I
Illuminati
didn't
card
like it.
game, David.
I don't like it because it's green, Ryan, and I didn't pick this. We just haven't done the studio yet. But look at there's there's lighting everywhere. It's so bright. It's blinding us all.
The truth
How does
is
that make you
blinding.
feel? This thing is horrendous, by the way. Whoever, you could tell this house was from the 70s. I'm pretty sure these are from the 70s. This is pretty awful.
Those are cum rags at this point.
Do you think they should stay when I redo the studio, Ryan? These quality 1970s green. How do you feel about them? I need honest opinions, Ryan. I need an interior designer. We're blowing the budget on this thing. I'm the CEO. I get to decide the budget, Ryan. Blowing the top off of the budget. We're getting the best equipment, the best interior design. I'm going to have the best little props, Ryan.
Where are you going, Home Goods?
I'm going to have my little I'm Just a Bill guy. These were all, by the way, for people who didn't know what was on the shelf at the old studio, which I miss so much. We have the Bill. We have the bullet that missed Trump, to quote J. Cole. we got
on the bullet that missed Trump.
a base in the Trump, the bullet that missed Trump. We got the Big Lee Trump Lego, and we have the Statue of Liberty. We have a lot. There was a lot more that was back there too. We had some of our merch or shirts. There was a lot of stuff, but those are the ones that fit in the drawer. I have them close to me and close by.
The spirit of the old studio is still residing.
The studio is sacred. Ryan, since you do not know what's on the show today, since I am the producer, the CEO, the co-host, I will tell you.
Except Ryan, the talent is everything but the talent.
Listen, I'm the business side. I'm the entertainment side. I'm like a real Jeremy Boring, except I'm not a pussy. So here's what we got,
laid?
Ryan.
You actually get laid. Matt Walsh.
I'm like Ben Shapiro, slightly less intelligent, but I can.
Definitely more gay than Matt Walsh.
Here's the thing: we're not going for it.
I'm telling you, he's gay. He's gonna come out. Sorry, I'll stop derailing.
I gotta tell you, Matt Walsh is clearly on the way out at Daily Wire, and the only reason I say that
is he swinging for the fences.
Well, here's the thing: he said the other day, yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, he was talking about. We talked about this girl, right, and calling the kid the N-word and stuff. Okay,
yeah,
and then comparing the Give Send Goes or GoFundMe's or whatever the case may be with the black man who stabbed the white kid to death. Okay, he murdered him with a knife. It's called stabbing to death. And he said, "Listen,
is there stabbing to life, too?"
Matt Walsh said, "Everyone's missing the point. It's more acceptable in America if you're a black person to stab a white person to death than it is for a white person to say a word black people don't like." Matt Walsh is not staying at Daily Wire very long. I can tell you that right now. That is not something a Daily Wire man says. He's on the way out. I wish Jordan Peterson would follow.
Crowder and Matt Walsh, dude.
Ryan, you still haven't let me tell everybody what's on the show today.
Well, the show, I don't know what's on the show either, David. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, my God. So on the show today, Trump is he's planning on paying illegal immigrants to deport themselves. We'll talk about that. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene going full anti-interventionism, which is interesting. India and Pakistan are finally going at each other. World War III is fake, though. But the biggest thing we want to get to, I'm going to leave a surprise. Ryan. I just decided that now. I'm not going to tell you.
A December surprise, David.
It's a December surprise. I'm not going to tell you about it.
Surprise headline.
Surprise. Here's what I would like to talk about, though. I'm just going to pull this up. It is I know, I get it. It's not a trustworthy news source. It is Fox News. Okay. So I get it, everybody. I know, but it's the one that I saw first. Here is the plan, apparently, from the Donald Trump administration for
So
self-deportation.
Fox News can report
Oh my God,
exclusively
turn your
that
mic up,
DHS
dude.
will announce today that they're going to start paying for the commercial flights of illegal aliens who self-deport from the U.S. And on top of that, they're going to pay them an additional $1,000 stipend once they're confirmed to have left the country. Now, DHS says doing this is going to be significantly cheaper for the American taxpayer. They tell us that right now it costs on average about $17,000 to arrest, detain, and deport someone. They say
Okay, the rest, it honestly, truly, that's the root of it. Here's the deal.
Listen, we'll give you $1,000. We'll send you on the plane. Send a postcard.
Here's several problems with this, and here's the idea, or here's the problem, really, with Trump. Is he's like this idea guy. He was a business world. He just fucking floats ideas out and like, and I get it. Like I know like what he's doing because I do it also. But like he just floats ideas out and then he wants people to try to like make it work for him because that's what his role was for so long. Like, don't care, make it happen. Biggest
What?
building in New York. And it's like, all right, but there's a lot that goes, biggest building, make it happen. And he's floating this idea out, and it's based on a logical, kind of semi-logical, basic numbers, which is it's $17,000 to deport him. If we give him $1,000, it brings it down to $4,500 somehow. That's government math, I guess. Here is what's
It costs $13,000 to fucking pick up a guy and drive him to a police station.
here. Here's the biggest problem, in my opinion, with this plan. You have now provided an incentive for illegal immigrants. Okay. So one of two things happen. One, they're going to keep coming here and taking $1,000 and leaving. I don't know the plan completely. Maybe there's stipulations against that. I don't know, but you're literally incentivizing them coming.
Could you imagine like the infinite loophole? It'd be like, Mr. Trump as the president
How'd you make
ever.
$50,000 last year as an illegal immigrant? No, I just kept coming and kept leaving.
My cousin owned the property right on the other side. You let me in.
But here's the other
Dude,
problem.
what the fuck? I didn't even think of that. Just this.
You just
fucking
incentivized it. Here's the
like
other problem.
infinite banking, but and a free play ride.
And to me, this is probably even the bigger problem. So it's like one of two outcomes happens here. Either the thing I just said, or I think the more likely scenario is if these people are leaving their country, which is a hellhole, okay, or a shithole, which he got in trouble for saying, to come here to find a better life, are they going to leave for $1,000?
No. The dumb ones might.
I don't see this. I understand the basic math behind it. Yes, it's cheaper to pay them to leave. But either you create an incentive to do it, or they're truly coming from a place that's so terrible, they're not going back for $1,000. They'll just risk it here. Because what's the worst thing that happens here? I mean, under Trump, they get deported to El Salvador. I guess that's bad. But like, what's the worst thing that happens here? They go to an American prison. Do you think that scares them if they're coming from such an atrocious shithole of a country? Oh no, I get free food and free housing for the rest of like what is the problem? This plan sounds good if you don't think about it at all. But the second you put any thought into it, it falls on its face.
Well, also the illegal, the people that get caught by the DHS or Border Patrol or whatever and are given a court date, a lot of those guys don't show up to their court dates. So the large group of statistical odds of people not showing up to court dates, we're also supposed to trust them to be incentivized to go turn themselves in for a crime, to get
Sure.
shipped to an internment camp to have their head shaven, and then
and
everything they know. I mean, that guy, not for nothing. Let's even go Trump's route with some fucking MS-13 dude. That dude might be like dripped out in some shit. He might have some cars and some pussy and like a couple dogs. Yo, kill or kill.
and we're like, hey, go leave for $1,000.
$1,000. Be like, homie, I make that in a day, man.
I don't. It's one of those. It's one of those very Trumpian things where it's like I see where he's coming from.
What about $2,000? Will $2,000 do it?
But this is the problem too. Like if Trump is, and I'm not saying he is, but if Trump is surrounded by yes men, which is the last thing somebody like Trump needs. Trump's truly his next 5 people should be people who immediately tell him no.
Yeah, why is
Those should be
Pence?
Trump's 5 closest people.
Why is Pence trending right now?
I could find out for you, Ryan. You want to fuck it? We do it live.
What's the top one? Operation what?
Mike Pence is never to be trusted again. May
Oh, okay. Oh,
wait, hold on. But what made him? Okay, he's got a picture with him and Obama. Pence keeping toys affordable is part of the American dream.
Kids and put 3 kids through college. Cheap goods.
So, like, Trump said something about like how many dolls is too many dolls or something. Hold on, and let's see what Pence.
This was not a part of the American dream. Well, I'm somebody who spent almost my entire life in public service. We lived on our paycheck while we raised 3 kids and put 3 kids through college. Cheap goods are a big part of it. I think we ought to be candid about that. Cheap goods was not a part
is he
of it.
promoting buying Chinese slave goods, David?
That's right.
The fucking party of like pro-America, for the people, by the people.
American dream, baby. Give me that Chinese slave labor. Woo!
Children slave labor.
Are these people fucking serious?
You're fucking.
Can we
Yeah, I'm actually that
shit.
shit. Yeah, I would have asked him if I was that interviewer. Is your shirt, sir? Is your shirt made in China or America?
Can we acknowledge the fact, okay, please, that both the left and the right simultaneously, in different ways, openly support slavery?
And murder.
What do you hear when we
we'll
talk
start
about
with slavery?
What do you hear when we talk about deporting illegal immigrants from people on the left? Who's going to do all those jobs that the Americans won't do? Oh, the low-paying ones that we won't do because it's fucking slavery?
You mean
Who's
the one that I can't afford?
That's what you're concerned about.
You mean the one I can't?
Slaves.
I can't afford to feed my family on McDonald's, but the guy that picks strawberries should be here. Gotcha.
And it's the same debate with these tariffs. Like, well, if we have tariffs and the Americans have to build it, they're going to have better paying jobs here, and the product's going to be more expensive. Okay, so your argument against tariffs is that Chinese slave labor is cheaper than our labor? Is that really? Just say it. Just say it. That's fine. Say it.
And that we're not creating jobs here to pay people money? Have they done the math on what an actual tariff will go?
I like illegal immigration. Just say it. I like illegal immigration because I like cheap slave labor. That's fucking say it. That's fine. Okay, fine.
I want children, cheap slave children labor, David.
I want Chinese slave children and their foot binding mothers. That's what I want.
Foot binding mother and their fucking African neck ring wearing mother.
I just can we just neck, please just say it? Just say it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Fuck Mike Pence. We never liked Pence, dude. Never liked Pence.
Dude, you know what was cheap? You know what was cheap? Do you remember that guillotine that everyone said was to behead Mike Pence at the January 6th stuff? And it was like, dude, it looks like it was sold at Toys R Us. Like it was like 4 feet tall.
Like Toys R Us doesn't exist.
Can we fucking relax? I don't want to grow up, Ryan. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
David, quick question.
All he said? Is that all it takes to trend if you're Mike Pence? I think that's it. Is that really
what was that joke? Jokes about communism. What was it?
Jokes about communism are not funny unless everyone gets them. Okay.
Oh shit.
Yep, dogs getting attacked. This is Mike Pence. Pence is trending, and it's a dog attack. Pit bulls. Penny, because it says Penny. Dog Penny. Okay, I don't. What's this? Operation Sindor? Is that what that's called? Pakistanis? Is that what they're? The mainland has been attacked. Okay. All right, sure. Well, fuck it. That's one of the things I think we were going to talk about. Let's talk about Pakistan and India fighting each other, because we all know And we all know that this is the most important thing that we're talking about today is, of course, bombs are loud.
India and Pakistan enter the chat, dude. Nobody takes anything serious, dude.
This is such a
Dude.
wild.
Who's filming? Who keep filming? People
Can
are
we talk
dumb.
about how fucking, and I guess we're gonna get to Marjorie Taylor Greene's comments after this, but can we seriously talk about how fucking absurd war is? Like, doesn't it seem like the craziest? And I get it from like the deepest, most biological standpoint. Like we talk about on the show, like men have a respect for other men because we know if we step over the line, there's a chance of violence,
Yeah,
and
we're gonna
like
get
it
fucked up.
creates a structured society, and that's fine. But like war in general is fucking crazy if you really sit down and think about it. Like really all it is that basic premise that I just talked about expanded, and I get that. But like it's so fucking crazy. And it's historically been about land. I think there's like a shift. Like war doesn't seem to be about land or resources anymore. Russia, Ukraine, land and resources for sure. Probably more land than resource because they both have about similar resources.
Dave, war currently is for world war's sake. Just tell war to war.
There's people profiting from war now, which is something I don't know, probably fair to say historically wasn't always the case.
Always happened. What are you talking about?
Profiting from war, like elites
Yeah.
profiting from war. Like, are we going back to like I don't know, go back to how far back do you want to go?
Forever?
Forever? Elites
Yeah.
profiting from war, you think was a very common. I mean, again, stealing the land and resource, you could look at that and say that's their profit for the victor. But was that always? But was that the primary reason for it?
I mean, when you look at Cain and Abel, the story of Cain and Abel is basically the story of war. Somebody was jealous or wanted what somebody else had, and they took it. I mean, I'd argue, to go further, Abel's children, David, was the ancestor of him, was the first person to create weapons of war, actually, in the Bible, allegedly. But no, David, I mean, this is a tale as old as time. Jordan Peterson always talks about order and chaos in the world and everything else. But yeah, I would wager that nearly every story since the dawn of time is basically assimilated to resource gathering for elites and profiting in some way. Any mass
Resource
scale.
for sure, I'm all for it. But I'm saying specifically money now.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the conspiracy about Amelia Rothschild that when Napoleon was going through Russia, I believe, he owned newspapers and he ran the newspapers that Napoleon had defeated the Russians. So everybody thought that there was going to be this mass influx or whatever they initially thought. So he was telling people to sell everything in the stock market. When they did that, he went through and bought everything up on pennies on the dollar, and he basically owned the city of London overnight. So I mean, we're talking Rothschilds and French Revolution was late 1700s, David, early 1800s. So
Interesting.
some would say that Hitler, David, was nothing but war profiteering, and he was just you ever hear the conspiracy that Hitler was just set up and he just basically showed up?
I have. I can't truly get behind that, but
It's hard to think when you read Mein Kampf, yeah, but I don't know.
it's tough when you look at historical context and you're like, this guy is not a guy who just fucking showed up.
No, he showed up all right, methed
He
out
just
and
showed up
ready to murder.
and gave fiery speeches about everything that happened. Like that falls on its face the second you apply any logic against it.
Be the greatest actor ever.
that theory immediately falls on its face.
Zifio was the greatest actor.
I did want to get into this because this to me this was interesting. This is Marjorie Taylor Greene being arguably making the strongest case for anti-interventionalism that I've heard since Ron Paul. And I've said this before. There's things I like about Ron Paul and things I don't like, but this is very well done. And this is her. I'll just read it out. All the narratives are wearing off. Vietnam was a pointless war and we lost. There were no weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Afghanistan was a waste. We gained nothing from any of those wars. Saudi Arabia has nuclear weapons, and the 19 terrorists from 9/11 were all Saudis. Did we go with them? Nope. North Korea has nukes. Little Rocket Man hasn't blown us all up yet, but we were told he was going to. Pakistan and China have nukes as well. The big bad Russians have nuclear weapons. We were told Putin was going to sweep across Europe just like Hitler, and it hasn't happened. He couldn't take Ukraine in 3 years. We've been told Iran is on the verge of having nuclear weapons at any moment for as long as I can remember. People just don't care anymore because none of those things actually affected our lives unless they were in the military and shipped over to those foreign countries and blown up. What has directly affected Americans and people that I know is the cartel's constant flow of drugs into every single city in America and cartel crime and murder. I've never seen a Houthi, nor have anyone else I know. But what everyone I know is that for some reason we don't attack the real enemy that kills Americans every single day. Now we have to run off and bomb some countries elsewhere, somewhere else in the world, because we're told they're the bad guys and they've never done anything directly to Americans like cartels have. It's an interesting point. I would argue this because here's the thing with everything that we've been told, okay? And we can do this with wars. We can do this with climate change. We can do this with COVID. The reason people don't care is because they constantly get told all of these things that is going to happen to them, and they don't. And now with the express flow of information that we have in the modern day age, people don't forget. We are reminded constantly what we were told about Iraq and Afghanistan, what we were told about all the foreign wars that we had to get involved to that cost trillions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of lives, or however many lives were lost. What we were told about climate change, I never will forget. I was in school as they tried to indoctrinate us about climate change. And he's on this fucking, I'll never forget this. For anyone who's ever seen, what the fuck was that documentary that Al Gore
Sounds
did?
like MTG is trying to say to war with the cartels in Mexico, which is what Trump said the other day. Yeah, there's interviews, Mike. I don't know if you've ever heard these, but there's Dave, to go further, your thing, it was the Al Gore movie.
Yeah.
The climate
here's the
crisis.
Thing. He's got this. Yeah. He's got this huge fucking monitor, and it's a chart, and it's like soaring up and up, and the monitor is so big, so it looks like, oh my god, the temperature and the polar bears, and they can't swim, and the ice is melting, and he gets up on this fucking like cherry picker, boop boop boop, fucking lifting up with his little pointer so he could point at the very top of the chart. It's very dramatic, very theatrical. It's almost like what the people in Hollywood do. And he points to the very tippy top. But the thing is about that chart, if you look at it, it's like tenths of a degree. Tenths of a degree. Over like years. And he makes this big theatrical dramatic statement. And oh my God.
Are you saying it's just parts per million?
Ryan, we're gonna be underwater. All the polar bears are dying. This is fucking horrifying. Like the worst case estimates that I've heard from most scientists who want to tax you into oblivion, stop you from reproducing, stop you from having things that are produced.
Eating meat.
Eat the crickets, you peasant, because we're tenths of a degree higher. The highest estimates I've seen were like 2 degrees on average temp higher over the next like 100 years. But we need the Paris Climate Accord and spend trillions of dollars to fix it, and you can't eat meat and you can't drive a car. By the way, we're going to fly around in our planes to go solve it, in
Dave,
some European country somewhere.
full circle.
Full circle.
You know what solar panels do, David, when they collect energy?
Oh, surely
They
they just
they
store the energy forever, and we have
oh
infinite energy.
yeah, some light, David, is reflected. It's called solar radiance. What happens is
That sounds like it would
it's
create heat.
oh, so we have all these solar farms reflecting light back up into the atmosphere, and then they spray the chemtrails on top of it to trap it in there.
Well, to reflect the light back at the sun to save us.
What if we're
Ryan.
David? What if we're trying to reflect the light back at the sun underneath the fucking same
Well,
little
I guess
mirror reflect?
it might reflect it back at the earth also, but maybe it's not like a double-sided mirror. Maybe only the top is reflective and the bottom is absorptive.
It's a quicker picker upper fucking chemtrail.
It's like a bounty with a mirror on top. These scientists know what they're doing, Ryan. It's just water
Trust
vapor.
the scientists. Just trust the scientists.
It's water vapor
And
reflecting.
their magic water vapor that stays. Hey, Dave, isn't it weird that a vape is a water vapor, right? And that dissipates right away.
Well,
But
it's to stop climate change.
yeah,
I mean, these
sad
people
too.
have gone as far to talk about moving the sun. Like we talked about this on the show. Like scientists are trying to think of a way to move the sun to solve climate change because over 100 years it could be 2 degrees warmer on average. And it's going to cause New York City was already supposed to be underwater. It was already supposed to be over 15 years ago, according to Al Gore.
Well, David, clearly that's why the banks and BlackRock are buying up all the oceanfront property right now, right? Because they're going to be underwater in 5 years.
Never mind all the historical data that we have. Never mind, by the way, the historical data, more context, the historical data that shows that our temperature has fluctuated with or without human activity, regardless, since forever. Regardless of the fact other planets without people on them have climate change. We're supposed to just ignore all that. It's all the people's fault. People only cause climate change. And in order to fix that, you must depopulate Earth because less people would mean less people causing climate change. So eat the crickets, kill all the people, move the fucking sun because we need to be 2 degrees less over 100 years. By the way, there's signs that Earth is cooling again. This is why people don't. The average person does not believe these people. They don't believe elites. They don't believe the science. They don't believe any of this shit. They don't believe the people who are telling you to go to war forever because they've been lied to forever and enough of them are finally waking up.
Yeah, it's proof the InfoWar won. We won. Now what to do with it, It's kind of like what do we do now that the average person knows that chemtrails are real?
Well, I can tell you what the answer isn't. And
Go to work, David. Go to work and pay your taxes.
I fear this is what people are doing, and this is the exact wrong approach. We feel like, okay, we won, put it in cruise control.
Yep.
We should be fucking pedal to the floor. I want to be ripping through gears right now. We should be accelerating harder, faster. Do not let up.
Yeah, and it
Don't
should be
let
easy
these people
because all the stuff that we've ever wanted should be on the back burner for policy making. If really, in theory, David, if we really have sent people of, all these high quality people down to Washington to do exactly what they said they would do, especially on the aisles that are, going against the current administration on either side, if they're like, hey, man, you're being disenfranchised, here's this bill I want to make, you would think they'd have all those on the clutch already, and they would just be able to stomp these things through with the due process, of course, David. But
the studio is, in fact, not sacred. Here comes Eve and her 46-year-old poodle.
He's just going to click around a little bit.
Just kill the dog, dude. God.
Ryan, are we ready for the mystery? Because I think we're going to need at least a half hour to cover this. Because I know once we get into this,
what did I miss?
What did I miss?
Before you do that, Dave, can you look up what the average cost of a new car will be with the tariffs?
Sure. Yeah, I'll see if I can find a trusted news source or an AI answer that everyone.
Because the AI one that's read all the trusted news sources for me, David, and came up with its own conclusion. Clearly not anywhere between where do you fall between Stephen Hawking and Donald Trump on AI.
Okay, let's just trust. We're gonna trust
Yo,
AI
get the
because
spoon out of your brain, David, and fucking think for yourself, dude.
well, no, we have to trust AI. The new auto tariffs could add an average of 4,000 to 8,700 to the cost of a vehicle. This is due to a 25% tariff on imported cars and 25% tariff on foreign content in vehicles assembled in the US. While some automakers may be able to absorb some of the cost, others could see prices rise by 10 to 15% for impacted vehicles and at least 5% for those not fully impacted. Here's a more detailed breakdown, Ryan. Ford expects U.S. car prices to increase by 1 to 1.5% in the second half of 2025 due to the tariffs. Yeah, so USA Today says 2 to
The fuck is
12,000.
1% on a $30,000 car? $300.
It's $300. Yeah, it's not.
Tariffs are breaking the economy, David. Oh, why is the Volkswagen up 8%, David? Well, it's from fucking Germany.
A study by Reuters estimates that the Detroit 3, GM, Ford, and Stellantis, which is Chrysler, could see an average cost of $49.11 per vehicle for imported vehicle parts and $86.41 for imported vehicles. So if the vehicle is built there, but they receive parts from outside sources, about $5,000 will be tacked onto the car, and if it's built outside of the United States, about $8,600 will be added onto the car.
So 9,000.
9,000. So for the cars that are the domestic brands, okay, secret about the domestic brands, they build their cars in Canada and Mexico as well as the United States.
Well, that's why I asked David, because as you know, we know, but you can read those stickers and it says made what is it, Northern Hemisphere or something was the way they phrase it.
So they have
a North American car, not North America. It's
Yep.
a North American car, not an American car.
So the window sticker, also known as the Moroni label, will give you the parts breakdown and like what percentage of the vehicle is from what region of the United States or a region of the world. So that's what you're talking about. And then other things that you know if you know how to read things. The VIN codes on vehicles, which are the 70-digit VINs, the first digit in the VIN code symbolizes where the vehicle was built. So if it starts with a 1, it was built in America. 2 is Canada, 3 is Mexico, and then there's like crazy ones. I think W is Germany, and it goes on. Z is Italy. So it can get a little crazy. But what you're looking for is a 1 VIN for sure, because that means it was built here.
So no tariff, Dave? There's no tariff then?
Well, there is a tariff because it was built here, but they still use not all of the parts were built here.
So I still pay a tariff, David?
So you still pay a tariff. Fun fact, Toyotas are very American cars, and so are Teslas. So stop burning Teslas and go buy one if you're worried about tariffs, because they're built here and they use a lot of American parts. And so is Toyota, which is funny because it's a Japanese company.
Oh, there's Toyota of America.
Sure. But a lot of their vehicles here are built in America.
Yeah, before I got out of cars, I was remember when, the mid 2010s and stuff, Dave. That was when I first heard that Toyota actually employs more American people to build cars than the American car brands.
You pointed this out before, but here's a dirty little secret that people won't point out. UAW, the United Auto Workers, recently just got big fat raises because they went on strike.
Yes, they did.
And striking's interesting for people who don't know what a strike is. It's the concept that you agree to work for money and then you change your mind in the middle of your work.
Hey, now, don't be fucking jealous, David.
Oh, yeah, I'll work for $90,000 a year.
Yeah,
Wait, actually? No.
Yeah,
I'm not going to work anymore until you pay me more.
110,
wait, hold on. You told me you were going to work for $90,000 a year. No,
inflation, David. Inflation, okay? My grandparents didn't go murder Nazis for me to not fucking bargain for more money.
Listen, I'm all for when it happens with private companies like UAW and then these manufacturers. Personally, if I'm the manufacturer, I'm telling you to go fuck yourself. I said this before on the program.
You can't.
You can. You absolutely can. I can't find another guy to stand on an assembly line and put things together poorly Bullshit.
You
I
can't
can't
get
find
people
other
to
people.
work. You
I
can't
will
get people
find
to
people
work
from McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
You
can.
can't get people at McDonald's.
Ryan, if I pay people 50 grand when I'm paying them 90 grand now,
Dude, they have to pass a drug test, David.
I don't give says who? I don't care if they pass a drug test. I'm the
You
CEO of GM. You don't think I can change that? You don't think I can
How many
get rid of the drug
CEOs, dude?
test
How
and
do you
pay
have
people
time?
40? You don't worry, because I can handle it.
I
Trust me.
am fucking worried, dude.
You
You're
don't worry
fucking
about what
running
I'm
on
a
2 hours of
CEO of.
sleep, running 7 companies. One was a Fortune 500
There's
fucking auto.
no way I would pay for these people. At some point, you stop the bleeding. I can't. I can't pay you more. I can't. The cars are too expensive. I can't pay you more. You already make a good wage, a very fair wage, way
No,
more than the
give
average. You know what you make more than? You make more than average teachers and all these
good,
people with fancy
good. I build the
degrees and
cars the teachers drive, David.
build
Get
the car.
fucked.
You
I
barely build them.
build
You build them poorly, and then
I
we
built
have to fucking fix them.
David. I don't
Oh,
barely
oops!
build a
Didn't plug
car.
that
I
in.
build all of the cars, okay? It's not like the building just makes one piece of the car, David. It makes the entire
These
fucking
fucking
car. No, I'm not hearing this. I've
no.
worked.
These
No.
manufacturers are
No, you don't give
absolute
me these.
ridiculous.
No, dude.
They're
No.
ridiculous. They
No.
know they pay these people. They know they overpay them. They won't stop the bleeding. They're doing their job poorly. They haven't done more. They haven't produced more. And yet here they are getting big wages just because a lot of people asked at the same time. And they're
Just
not
because a
doing a
bunch of
better
people asked
job.
at the same
And
time.
now we gotta fix it. And then they yell at us every time we fix it. Oh, you fixed it, but it costs too much to fix. I don't know. Tell your people who make a lot of money to build it better. What do you want me to do?
The people that design it are not union, David.
The people that design it aren't union. How about the people who put it together and forget? Oops, didn't clip that together. Oh, oops, that thing's rubbing on something else that moves, and now it caused a big electrical problem. That is not from the design. That's not a
Yes.
design flaw. You
The
didn't push
f-
the fucking thing in because, oops, it's lunchtime and I don't want to miss my 15-minute break.
You sound really pissed off that you're not union.
I really hate union workers. I really do. I
Really,
truly do.
oh, you would have been so proud of us the other day. There was 3
I
guys
really
on
do. I'm
literally
sure they
one
were
ladder.
all watching. Oh yeah,
One
better
ladder, dude. I
wire
was the
tie that
only,
together.
yeah, I was the
Yeah, make
only
sure you
guy.
turned it to the right. I need 3 supervisors.
It's
I
just
can't fucking
fucking
do unions.
one screw at a
It
time,
is
dude.
so wildly inefficient.
One
It's fucking
screw at a
crazy.
time. I don't give a fuck. The fucking
Anyone
$1 trillion
who's
of the bill
ever
stadium. Keep
and
going,
again
dude. Keep spending the money.
if it's private companies, fine. At some level, at least parties are agreeing. That's fine. It does affect us negatively, but that's fine. But when it's public unions, it's even worse because it's like, oh, it's just fucking tax money. Who cares? Sure, we'll give them 25% raises. No, stop the bleeding. Stupid. This is dumb. Produce more. You want more money? Go do better. Make
You want more
better
money?
cars.
We should have teachers pay based on the graduation rate and grades of their
I've
students.
truly, I've truly, even though I've said this before, the fact that
Flat
teachers are
rate
not based
teachers,
on
dude.
performance, that their pay is not based on performance, is fucking wild to me.
It's based on merit.
Half the kids can't read. Oh, I got tenure. Fuck no. You don't work here anymore. You're bad. You're bad at your job. Your kids can't read.
You're fucking up the future of everybody.
Oh, you worked here for so long. Better get an automated raise. No, this is stupid.
I
You
think
want to know why
Dave's
the
just
education
jealous.
system doesn't work? That's fucking why. Because there's no incentive or distance. Like, no matter what, you get your automated raise, you're fine. By the way, take all your fucking time that builds up off and you can retire early. Oh, more kids can't read. Oh well, stupid. There's very few I will openly say this, I don't care. There are very few teachers who are good at what they do because there's very few teachers who give a shit. And there's in the structure doesn't make you give a shit, so you just have to be a good person who gives a shit. And that's why there's very few good teachers.
And then those good teachers get burned out by shitty kids like me.
Well, sure, there's some of that for sure.
And then to
I
go
mean, don't
full
get me wrong.
circle.
Don't get me
Then to
wrong.
go full
It's a two-way
circle,
street.
David. Yeah. Then to go full circle, I build the building that the teacher then has to go teach kids in that he fucking hates. But the kids
It
that
is,
he hated built the building he's in. So always remember the garden and who's the gardener,
and
David.
and made more than the teacher in the process.
Made
You
more
know,
than it's 3-to-1 pension hours. There ain't no teacher I know making fucking 55 hours right now pension credits for building the stadium. You're all watching Josh Allen play and you fucking assholes.
it's definitely a two-way street though. Like, I mean, we the overwhelming amount of parents raise shitty kids, and then they send their shitty kids to school. So it's a two-way street. Don't get me wrong. I get it. But the fact that there's no discipline at all because your kids can't read and they still graduate is just like, what do you expect to happen here?
No
Ryan,
child left behind, David.
Ryan, we didn't get to the thing I wanted to talk about yet.
Surprise line.
The surprise. We didn't get to that part yet.
December surprise.
Sorry, you can't get me on the topic of unions. I fucking get mad.
Dude, just jealous. It's fine.
I do. It's not jealous. Do your job better. You want more money? Go produce more. Like
no.
10 of us decided we don't like our wage anymore.
Don't work that way.
No, 10 of you don't. I don't care what 10 of you think. Get back to work.
That dude just wants
to do that. Then fucking you're fired.
The guy that I'm making more money for just wants more fucking money. He doesn't want better paid guys.
Ryan, if you ever unionize, I'm firing you. I need you to know that.
Dude, I need $130,000 a year, and if you're not going to pay it, I'm fucking unionizing. No, bitch. No. I don't. Hey,
I'll consider it.
No, I don't need to produce because you need electricity. You're asking me to produce something that you need. It's so funny. What are you fucking entitled to my labor?
Okay, but here's the problem.
Out of your mind. You're out of your fucking mind.
If you're the only person who produces on Earth, if you're the only one with that skill set, I get it. But there's I could find so many people who can plug things in at a factory. So many people. You don't think I could very quickly train somebody how to do something for way less money?
For the record,
these aren't skilled trades.
For the record, I worked at a factory and just watched a machine cut a steel bar into a bucket. I kicked the bucket to fill the bucket evenly, and then I called for a forklift. I called for a forklift, and then the second I got that,
pickers decided they want to raise.
Hey, there's only two of us. Okay.
How are we going to find more people to kick buckets? Fuck off! It's such a scam.
Made $19 an hour for that job, plus health insurance.
Especially when you're driving by construction on the roads, and there's 55 people watching one guy work.
Enough. All right, those guys. They get paid for what they know, David.
Fucking absurd. You guys are getting scammed. You are. You people are getting scammed. You're paying. Oh, the tariffs are going to add $4,000 to the cars. Oh, I'm sure a 25% raise didn't get passed on to you. Fucking scammed. You're getting
just the tariffs. Just the tariffs. Yeah, I think UAW got $5 to $7. So
scam.
There's always that.
Whatever. Am I? Where am I, Ryan? I don't know where the fuck I am anymore. Oh yeah, we got the mystery thing.
Whether it's a pole shift, magnetic pole shift is one of the theories of what causes these events. But there is a history of near extinction events. And one of the things that I've looked at, because I'm trying to figure out, between fiscal 1998 and fiscal 2015, there were 21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments in the U.S. government. If you go to our website, missingmoney.solera.com, we have years and years of documentation, including the government financials that show this.
Brian, usually you're the pause guy. When she says $21 trillion of undocumentable adjustments, it means money they spent and didn't tell you about. That's the easiest way to say it, right? It's 21 trillion in undocumentable adjustments.
Underground cities.
Hold on, we're not there yet. We're not there. Don't read.
I wonder, dude, it's
what would you have?
How many people they plan on? How many are they planning on keeping alive, David? How big are these cities?
Yeah, we'll
$32 trillion.
And so the question is, where's all this money going? And one of the things I've looked at in the process of looking at where all this money is going is the underground base and city infrastructure and transportation system that's been built. And
I'm sorry?
Yes. So we have built an extraordinary...
Keep in mind, for context, and Ryan talks about this all the time, Tucker Carlson didn't believe a single conspiracy theory until 2016. Okay, we're 9 years into Tucker Carlson finally believing that the mainstream narrative is not always true.
He finally believes Alex Jones. Yeah.
And this lady 9 years into his journey, has just told him $21 trillion went into secret underground cities. I just figured that context is funny. Hold on.
Number of underground bases and supposedly transportation systems. Some of these are a record of, some of these are documented as part of the national security infrastructure. I think there are many more. So,
in the United States?
In the United States, on all over the world. But from 2021 to 2023, I took one of the smartest subscribers in the Solari Report network, and he and I spent 2 years collecting all the data and all the allegations on underground bases. And then we systematically went through and tried to estimate our guess. This is totally a guess of how many underground bases, both underground in the United States, but also underground under the ocean around the United States.
Ocean cities.
And our estimate was 170.
170.
With a transportation network connecting them.
And what would be the purpose?
The purpose, if you thought you were going to get a near extinction event, so there, to me, there are two purposes. You have so many activities going on that you need to keep secret.
I swear to fucking God, if Mark Zuckerberg's fucking pedophile bunker connects to one of those little fucking outposts, I'm gonna go down there and choke his little creepy ass myself. I don't give a fuck. I will John Jones his ass.
Mike said, do you think the construction workers that built the underground cities were unionized? For $21 trillion, I would bet money they were unionized.
It's actually called
that money went somewhere, that undocumented adjustment.
It's called rate money. Yeah, hey guys, just do $1 million. Just don't ever fucking say you're here.
Dude, the fucking government gets away with shit like a private entity. A private business would never get away with such slogan. Like if I told my boss, like the head of the company, if I was like, oh, I had an undocumented $20,000 adjustment, he'd be like, what the fuck? Where did $20,000 go? And then if my answer was, I don't know, I'd be fired.
Dude, 170 cities all connected with a transportation network. How long did that take?
Underground and under ocean.
How long did that fucking take?
What are these, the fucking snorks? They're underwater?
The snorks. I haven't heard the snorks.
Do you remember the snorks?
Of course I do.
Hold on. We found the elites, Ryan. We found them.
The Smurfs are Epstein Island, and then the snorks are
here they are. Ready?
Bill Gates. That's where Bill Gates fucks the kids, is underwater.
Hold on. I got to bring the snorks up.
He seems like an underwater.
Every time I think of elites, I'm going to think of the fucking snorks.
Snorks, dude. We should put Bill Gates' face on there. Yes, bitch. Yes, bitch.
There they are with their underwater connected cities. Nope,
dude,
21 trillion.
84 to 80.
The new city. Fucking crazy. I'm sorry. I wanted a snorks reference. I can't name shit about that show. I don't know what the theme song was like. I don't know any of the characters, but I remember like them specifically.
Correct. That you're basically building the capacity to, for example, if you're doing a secret space program, you need to platform it from, things that can't be seen. But I think if you're worried about a near extinction event,
a secret space program like spaceships coming out of the ocean, David.
Nothing about this other than my only window into it.
No, gotta be UFO. Gotta be UFO.
That's a funny point, because all these drones and shit that were happening recently, they said, oh, they were all coming out of the water, and it's like, well, that's not possible. Well, I don't know. Isn't it? Isn't it possible from one of
pretty possible if there's a fucking city under there? Nope, nothing to see here. Hey, how'd they build the pyramids? Oh, they couldn't do that. Hey, just be real quiet while we build 170 cities all connected underwater and underground.
Well, now I think under the pyramids is an underground city. It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Those are literally.
It's the perfect thing.
Skyscrapers. Those are skyscrapers topped with pyramids. Fuck these people. That's crazy.
Contractor who worked on one in Washington, in the city of Washington, D.C.
Right.
And I remember him telling me
Underground
about
Times
a
Square, Dave.
power
Whoa.
box, like a transformer box on Constitution Avenue that he told me, because he worked on it personally, was actually the exit, the egress from White House. That was kind of by vehicle. I thought that was, I was like, really? He goes, oh yeah, no, I installed it. I know. And I thought, well, that's kind of crazy that in the middle of this big city where I was on Constitution Avenue every day, that you could build something like that without me knowing it. Under the VP's house at the Naval Observatory, same thing.
Build a
I think
transformer.
most people know that. Next to my brother's house on Macomb Street in DC. But I always thought that was like preparation for nuclear war. Like, I didn't really think about it that much.
Some of it is, it's preparation for catastrophe.
So, but you think that there are facilities like that in other places outside DC?
Oh, yeah. So if you're interested, we have a great interview. I did an interview of Richard Dolan on underground bases on the Solari Report, and it's sort of an introduction to the topic, and it's based on a lot of the research of a guy named Richard Sauter, who is very hard to interview. So Richard kind of went through all the material, and clearly it's, I don't know if you ever saw, Washington Post did a project. It was in 2010 or 12 called Top Secret America. And one of the reporters, it was a team of 2 reporters, one of them put together a database of all the different top secret installations that had been built in the country, including since the Patriot Act. And what you saw was just this explosion of money in building so many both underground and above ground facilities.
These people are building a breakaway civilization underneath your fucking feet every day while you're at work, spraying the air with hazardous chemicals while at the same time telling you to eat food that's laced with toxic things that give you and your family mental retardation and slight autisms. Dude, they're printing your dollar into an oblivion when they're fucking digging holes and building cities in them. And it's for the elites. It's for the elites.
Referenced an interview. She referenced an interview, and I kind of want to hunt that thing down, and we might do a separate episode on that because this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, we'll just do a 1 episode on that interview with that guy or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we can sit there and just watch. Like, I mean, that's absurd. This is crazy.
I'd be okay with actually doing that sometime. Now that we're a weekly show, we could like do. We'd have to cover like the podcast at like 1.5 speed or something, but we could like cover more clips.
Well, it depends. I mean, yeah, it depends on how like long it is. I mean, if it's like a 30-minute interview and we're just giving our live take on it, I mean, we could fit that. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say.
David, did you ever see
did an episode that no conspiracy theory? Like, I'm game for
such thing as
whatever
conspiracies.
whatever you come up with, you let me know and I'll hear it out, because when we start hearing shit like this, who am I to scoff at a conspiracy theory?
Dave, have you ever seen that how all the missing kids go missing where there's the underground tunnels?
Well, we talked about the Jews in the tunnels, right?
No, David, those are different tunnels.
The Disney tunnels?
No, different tunnels.
Well, because there's kids that go missing in Disney. How about the missing kids on cruises? Those tunnels? Cruise tunnels?
Maybe that's where cruises stop.
At the tunnels?
Allegedly, most of the people that go missing, if you look at a heat map, it's along a very particular pattern. And if you lay the pattern over like the park system, most of the kidnappings happen near like national parks and such. And it's speculated that the kidnappings happen near natural parks and that there's an underground system connecting not all of these, but there's an underground system connecting, a certain cavernous region of all these areas. And that is how allegedly they're able to kidnap a bunch of children in neighborhoods and move them so quickly across the country that they'll never be found, is because these underground systems are all connected to go full conspiracy into waterways and railways, and some would say underground cities,
Well,
David.
in the waterways, Ryan, if they're building cities underground and underwater and connecting them all together,
That's literally
certainly,
fucking
sure.
Star Wars, dude. The first Star Wars where you go sees the fucking Gungas, dude. They're literally fucking Star Wars. We have cloud cities. We have cloud cities and underwater cities.
Well, don't forget we had the space pedophile islands that we talked about. There's the space lasers, of course.
Space lasers.
There's underground cities. There's no such thing as a conspiracy theory. This is absurd.
People live
and
live under the pyramids.
The fact that it's so crazy that we just blew over the fact it was $21 trillion.
Yeah, we're more worried about like, wow, dude, there's underground cities. No, dude, they spent fucking half of the
$1 trillion.
They spent half of America's wealth
for elites
to go fuck kids in.
Is it crazy to say for elites, Ryan? Can I just go down to the bunker?
Dave, we're finding this out through elites. What are you talking about?
I'm gonna go knock on the door. I'm gonna go to one of these places. I'm just gonna knock on the door and see if they let me.
Yeah, give me a fucking list. We'll do it. We'll do a pod covering it. Give me a list.
We'll just do it live. I'll show up. We do it live. I'll go to one of these.
Fuck it. We'll do what Alex did with the Bohemian Grove. I'll show up with my high vis and my hard hat on, and I say that I'm here to do electrical work on the underground city. Yeah, and of course. I'm just throwing
short shit out. I don't give a fuck.
I'm throwing a wrench right in from lug to lug. It's gonna just blow that entire fucking thing. I'd probably actually hunt down the transformer and just literally throw a wrench in there and watch it just explode. I just stand back, throw a wrench like 700 feet away, and just watch it and just explode.
Who would maintain the cities? The rich people. Too many logistics.
Look. It's really not that hard. There's people's job every day whose job is to live on Jeff Bezos's fucking private yacht and to cook him breakfast every day, okay? People will do it.
Do you think people worked on Epstein Island? Were there employees there?
100%. There's no way. There's not.
Somebody built the island, Ryan. We talked about this on the show before. Who built the island? Who built the island? Who installed the cameras? Who put up the fence?
I'm telling you, people, you don't need the list.
Runway? Who was the pilot?
Yep. Fine. You don't need the list on who was on the airplane. Just get a fucking contractor and start there. The contractors that were installing the siding, seeing Bill Clinton there. You don't need them on a fucking list, dude.
There was a many millions of dollars house on Epstein Island. It didn't just pop up. People were there. They maintained it. It had running water and electricity, and it had internet.
Same day
building
delivery.
On an island, not an underground city. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh, there's only one Epstein Island. Oh, you're right. Only one island, only one house. There was only one Epstein fucking kids.
There's only 170 underground cities, David. Just 170.
Do you think there's child sex rings? This is a serious question. Or do you think that's a conspiracy? Do you think child sex rings don't exist?
David, there would have to be.
Where are all these people? People are running them. People are delivering food like this.
They're employed by the military. You don't get to talk. If you talk, you die. We're not thinking this is a military operation. How do you think they spent money without you knowing where the fuck it went?
Well, it was
Black Ops military budget.
Undocumented adjustments, right?
Yeah, no, dude. The dudes at BlackRock and Vanguard leverage the politicians and all of their construction companies to fucking build the shit for themselves. They basically LLC'd underground cities through the American government. That's what these rich people did. This is one of those things
right now, and I just want everyone to remember this moment because right now it's a conspiracy theory. Now we're going to think 5 years from now when it comes out in some report, and we're going to be like, oh, yeah, did you see this thing about the underground cities? And me and Ryan are going to be like, yep, 5 years ago talked about it on the show. 5 years ago.
Except there's now like 700 underground cities, and people are like, this is the only one, the first underground city ever built in humanity. First one ever built.
But there's only one.
Only
Where
one.
Where does that road go to? I don't know. I didn't follow it. I don't know. Follow it. Under the fucking water in another city.
We have no idea how it got here. Ask the plumber. There's no running water and heated seats. No, we have no idea who owns it. Ask the guy that built it. He doesn't have the same level of insulation.
I'll check back with you in 5 years. I look forward to it. Just like, listen, we've seen all these release documents, all these fucking things. There was
Look, I told you about the fucking
Operation Mockingbird, and there's
California. I told you.
and
No, we told you about the California
Northwood.
freaking Chinese businessmen buying up all the land outside of
Oh,
fucking military
no
bases.
one knows who these
No,
people are.
no,
Really,
no,
they're buying public land by a
no,
military base. We don't know who they are. No, they couldn't
no
figure it
idea.
out.
No
Really,
idea. Yeah,
couldn't
they
figure it out.
just reaching out to the bank that wrote the
No one
check.
asked.
Babe, yeah,
No
no,
one
his
asked.
name
No one asked to see who this person was. Oh,
just
who's
sold the
this
land.
group buying up all this public land by our military bases? Well, I don't know.
Only
No one looked
only
into it, I guess.
111,000 acres. No fuck, just a small plot of 1,000,000 acres.
I don't know how many release documents and stuff do we have to see before we start thinking like, oh, maybe this
Hitler was
isn't-
in Argentina. I've seen it. After that, I don't give a fuck. Hitler's sucking dick in Argentina, dude. Listening to John Lennon, smoking fucking cigars with the Cruella de Vil fucking end on it, with a fucking overgrown yarmulke known as a beanie, and he's got a
No, just
fucking
get Hitler with a
ascot
bunch of
on.
Dalmatians.
Oh, he's getting dominated.
He
Dominate
loves
me.
Dalmatians.
Oh my god, dominations. He calls them dominations.
He definitely likes the white part more.
The German dominations. The German. All right, I guess
Holy
that's
fuck.
it.
Underground
I
cities. It's real. I don't care.
Underground cities next week on the tomorrow on the program we will talk about how South Park was right about the mole men. Until then, Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast in all of human history, above and below ground. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time. I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone. See everyone tomorrow. Maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about more about the cities tomorrow. I don't know. This is just such a crazy topic, and I'm sure it's just conspiracy theory.
I think Underground Cities is cooler than Epstein Island, for the record. I will now be upping my Epstein Island to Underground City.
Oh, wait, it wasn't only... hold on. Do we wait? Did you see what Mike just said?
What?
Speaking of Hitler, I have a crazy conspiracy if you give me a chance to type it out.
Yeah. Oh, we're waiting. I love Hitler.
Are we waiting?
Oh, we're waiting.
All right. Well, then I'm going to make a point here real quick because we were talking about Epstein Island. And it was the only one, right? But then didn't something come out about Richard
Branson, the guy that owns Virgin?
Wasn't there something about his island being tied to pedophilia or sex trafficking or something? Didn't that come out recently?
Yeah, you said something and then it disappeared, David. I'm sure it's just one of those 170 underground cities.
Did that island have a house on it? Was there infrastructure on that house? Running water, electricity, cable, internet? No.
I have no idea.
No cars on the island, no golf carts, nothing that needed maintenance like landscaping.
I'm sure he did all of his own cooking.
There were no interior designers, there were no planes to get there, no boats to get there, no dock workers, no pilots, no crew, no fucking captains of the cruise ships.
Definitely cooked all of his own food all the time.
Yeah. Didn't know private chefs, no massage therapists.
Probably shopped too. Did all his own shop.
I'm sure Richard fucking Branson was
cleaning.
He was vacuuming and dusting his own fucking mega mansion on the island.
Billionaire, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Well, he likes a nice, clean pedophile mansion.
He likes it clean. He likes it clean.
I like it clean here, especially when I got to clean up the evidence. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't. You
know what's crazy, David? Oh my god, I just got goosebumps. There's a show. It's called The Prodigal Son, and it's a couple years old. But the show is a premise that this super smart doctor psychopath got caught for murder, but he had 2 kids, and one kid became a news anchor, and the other kid became like a criminologist, and he would help track down like psychopath murderers for the police. Typical fucking TV show shit. But there was a scene in there. His dad used to fucking like rape the girls and kill them, but he would like chloroform them and stuff, and they would always bring him to the house. You know, David, how they would go house to house? Underground tunnels. Underground tunnels, David.
I'll read it, but I don't know how I feel about Hitler Jesus.
Oh my God. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
He said, who killed Jesus? The Jews. I don't know if this is serious. Tiger he just wants to end on a joke. Jesus came back to Earth, and who would he hate the most? The Jews. Could Hitler have been the second coming of Jesus with a vengeance? Maybe. Hitler Jesus.
The only thing we got to do is resurrect Hitler's genes, David, so he will be a zombie Hitler Jesus.
Zombie Hitler Jesus. The only thing
Gay
about
ascot
that
wearing,
theory is
dick
that
sucking.
Hitler was gay in Argentina, and we all know Jesus does not tolerate the gays. So
Hitler, I will die on this sword, David. I will be the first historian in the future for AI to use as a source. Hitler was sucking dick, and I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me. That guy in that outfit, those outfits, and them paintings, and I'm supposed to believe he's just going to Argentina.
Wait, well, hold on. What's wrong with his outfits?
They just were very classy. You just had taste, David. He's at least metrosexual. He was at least metrosexual, David. If not,
are you saying he was trans Hitler?
Not trans Hitler.
Trans zombie Jesus Hitler?
Transphobic Hitler. Hitler was gay, sucking dick in Argentina. I'm sick and tired of it. John Lennon probably was there. Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the greatest podcast. I'll see you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Gay
Thanks,
Hitler, Ryan. Zombie, Jesus, dick sucking, weird dude.
Oh, can't end the stream. It doesn't want to end. It doesn't want to go away.